on over.
I'm Chris, a recovering Yankee living in the South. If having company for coffee, dinner, or even a last-minute popover sends you into a fit of panic, I can show you a few tips for being a great host or hostess anytime, day or night. So tune in, take notes, and learn to be fearless in saying, "Come on over."
Hey everybody, you caught us in an awkward moment. We were out filming a gardening episode and a thunderstorm decided to roll through. And in fact, you may hear it rain or thunder while I'm talking, and that's just the reality of gardening. So we thought, why not sit down for a moment and talk about 7 essential gardening tools. And this is my opinion. This is what I use to garden, and I stick with these tools no matter what. So let's talk about them. The first thing I would tell you, especially if you're older, is that a kneeling pad for gardening is really important. Now, it doesn't have to be this, but I use a heavy-duty, thick kneeling pad for my knees, and I even sit on it sometimes if I'm doing a lot of pulling of weeds or heavy work in the soil. Really helps your knees, your back. And I used to kind of poo-poo it, and then I experienced it and thought, was I crazy? It is awesome. So I take that thing with me everywhere. It gets filthy, it doesn't matter. It works in any setting. So get yourself one of those if you haven't gotten one already. Another thing is gardening gloves. Now, I'm not a big manicure person. I don't wear them for that reason, but if you garden at all regularly, you're just gonna tear up your hands no matter what you're doing if you're not wearing the gloves. And some people swear by waterproof gloves, some people swear by leather gloves. Get whatever's comfortable for you, whatever feels great on your hands, and use them. And I actually get packs of them so that if I'm working in clay and my gloves are wet and gross and I'm looking at those and it's soaking into my fingernails, I'm just like,
nope.
Toss them and get a new pair. So I always have a pack of gardening gloves on hand. And trust me, you will thank me for this little piece of advice the next time you look at your nails. Let's talk about snips or scissors. And I kind of use them interchangeably. For instance, I was getting out some dead growth on a very delicate plant, and I didn't like the way my snips were feeling. So I have a pair of garden shears, and they're just heavy duty shears that will cut bags, they'll cut stems, they'll cut whatever you need them to cut, heavy gauge. And I got in there with my shears and was able to just clip out pieces I didn't want anymore. You can't always do that with your garden shears or your snips, or maybe you just don't feel like they're comfortable in your hand. So you could have either one on hand. Brand doesn't matter. If there's something that you really like, tell us in the comments down below. I use a variety of snips or shears, and there are some I like and some I like less, and just go with what feels good to you. The next thing I would say you could use is a pop-up kangaroo bag. And I used to be kind of like, what about this, until I used one, and I love it. The one I use has a plastic bottom to it, and you can get them just regular, but you can get the plastic one. And why the plastic bottom one I think is so good is that you can drag it across stones, grass, gravel, your driveway, through the woods, and it will still stay intact, and that is great. So we'll put a picture of it up on the screen for you, the kind that I use. They will condense back down. You can collapse it, condense it, or you can leave it up. You can dump all kinds of debris in there, dirt, leaves, sticks, and then take it to where you need to take it later. I love that bag. Another essential tool that I use probably daily is called a dandelion weeder. I've always said if I could have one tool in the garden, if I was limited for some bizarre reason to one tool, it would be this tool. So why do we need this tool? Well, I love the long handle. It's steel, and it has this really cool V tip on it. It's pretty sharp. You're not going to cut yourself on it, but it's sharp enough to get down into the ground and get to the root of whatever weed you're going after, even a dandelion. And I have been known to dip this into the ground all the way to the handle to get, say, a wild onion. You know, if you have a wild onion growing in your yard, that onion, the head of that onion is going to be really deep. And I can get down in there and get that whole thing up, because if you don't get the bulb of the onion, it's going to keep growing back. It is great for dandelions. You know, they have a deep root that kind of condenses down at the bottom. You can get the whole thing out. It's great for, let's say you're digging a hole to pot something and you're wanting to go around a delicate area. Let's say that there's a drip line there or a sewer line, and you don't really want to get your shovel in there because you're not sure where it is. You can edge around the hole and get the dirt out on the side, and you can be pretty specific about it with this tip. It's really amazing. You can scoot it along the top of the grass and get out weeds or grass. I mean, I'm telling you, the use of this is endless. Get yourself one of these. A 10-gallon bucket is the next thing. The 10-gallon bucket can hold your tools. It can hold weeds. It can hold soil. It can hold water. It can hold fertilizer. And so many things it can hold, and it has that handle. I carry that thing around with me, and I'll maybe dump out my tools and put weeds in it, and then go dump out the weeds and come back and put something else in it. It's fantastic. The last thing I would mention is to always have on hand a 1 or 2 gallon watering can. Now, you may have a hose nearby. You may have a smaller watering can nearby. You may expect it to rain. All those things are great, but having that giant watering can with you, with at least a gallon of water, if not more, helps you in a pinch. Let's say that you are wanting to transplant something and you're digging it up out of the ground, and you've got just a toss throwaway canister or can that something came in, and you stick it in there, and it's a hot, hot, hot day. You don't want that to sit out in that heat, that sun and that heat. You want to immediately give it a little drink of water. And maybe you're not feeling like getting up and going in the hose or something. If you have that watering can handy and nearby, you can just give it a quick drink and put it aside and keep doing what you're doing. It's wonderful for pots, not having to go drag the hose out. Just have it right there. Let's say that you are deciding to pot up some summer flowers and you're doing several pots. You don't even have to stop what you're doing. You can just pot it up, get your watering can, get it going, and move on to your next pot. Super handy. Just go ahead and get the plastic kind. You don't have to get an expensive, beautiful one for this kind of job. You want one that's gonna be durable. You're gonna get it dirty. You're gonna get it muddy. You can knock it over, it can roll down a hill, and it won't matter. Those are the best ones. You can find those at any garden center. Well, there you have it. Those are my 7 essential gardening tools. Now, you might come up with another gardening tool that would be essential. Let's hear about it in the comments below. Or you might have a different experience with the tools I mentioned. Let's hear about those too. When you're thinking about hospitality, whether it's gardening or cooking or having someone over for coffee, just remember that your extra effort will make someone feel special today. See you next time.
At the end, just continue to smile until I say clear.
Yeah, but I look fake when I do it.
Oh, that's perfectly fine.
Did you get that on tape?
Yes.
So get out there and do what you need to do. That didn't even I didn't even think that. It came out of the sky and flew out of my mouth like...
You need a donut hole.
No, I do not need a donut hole.
Make someone feel special today.
I love how you use that tone when you say it. It's like you're being so bossy. Hey! You're being so bossy.
That's the only tone I have.
Don't make me go.
The bossy tone.
I know. Okay, we're shooting here.
I know.
And yet you're still talking. Well, there you have it. Those are my 7 essential gardening tools. Oh my gosh!
I'm just not gonna write anything because I can't get your
Gonna
line.
stab me in the eye. See, another great use. Stab, stab, stab. Okay, when your publicist won't stop talking. That coffee is so cold. Awful. Or having someone over for
Come on over. Now go make someone feel special today.